Welcome to the Turn One Studio podcast. I'm Eliud Custodio with Turn One Studio, and on this podcast, we sit with business professionals we know and admire. Today's guest is Arianna Harrelson from Apollo Networks. Welcome.
Thank you. So exciting.
Thanks for coming by. So first things first, what does Apollo Networks do?
So we are an MSP,
Okay.
a managed service provider. So we provide IT services to companies, helping them with their backups, having a disaster recovery plan, cybersecurity, and anything else technical that they need.
What size company is ideal for you guys? Who do you typically work with?
So we tend to be in that 1 to 100 range.
Okay.
We have capabilities to go much higher than that, but that's usually our sweet spot.
1 to 100. All right. Do you find that most of these companies don't have internal IT support at all? Or they do, but it's like one guy that has to service all these people?
Yeah. So when we get up to that more 100 number, it's usually 1 or 2 people internally. But if we come into those companies, it's providing supplemental help on where they can't have that assistance. So
Okay.
overnight, that really 24/7, the monitoring, and then having a more solid cybersecurity platform. The people that don't have, then we really come in and be their own IT partner.
Very cool. So as an MSP, you're managing your clients remotely from a data center?
Yeah, we have an office in Plainview.
Okay.
That's our main hub. That's where all the action takes place. And we have about 30 techs across the United States to handle some clients we have in other states.
Which states do you guys
Right
service?
now, we're in Arizona, Florida. I have a few in Jersey and the tri-state area, but we're looking to expand.
Okay. Do you guys support Apple Macintosh products?
Yes, we
You
do.
do? Okay. I know a lot of folks in the MSP space don't.
We do. They don't like to do it.
I've heard that too.
They do.
All right. Very cool. Are you finding, just to nerd out for a second on Apple, is anyone using an Apple as a server? I know back in the day Apple had a server, but they don't really anymore.
No.
They're not.
I personally have not experienced that
Okay.
with us. I know we try to get them into a Windows if they're in an Apple. Not
Okay.
server-wise, but computers will always.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kind of show them the benefit of Windows.
All right.
opposed to
Tim
Apple.
Cook wouldn't want to hear that, but
No,
okay.
I know. It depends on the industry.
Okay.
I think for your industry, it's very smart to use Apple
Mm-hmm.
because of Photoshop or Adobe, CAD or any kind of those programs where you're doing design or editing. I feel
Right.
like it's a little bit more reliable for that.
Yeah, those programs tend to feel Mac first.
Yes.
Yeah. So is it true that Macs aren't susceptible to viruses?
That is not true.
That is not true.
Mac has the same vulnerabilities as a Windows platform.
Okay.
They're sometimes not as popular or put on the media or anything because
Smaller market share.
Exactly.
They're not popular for hackers to target? It's not worth their while?
Popular meaning it's not publicized.
Okay.
You'll always see a Windows hack because a lot of people use Windows more.
Right.
But no, I think they're just as susceptible. I mean, we get reports on a daily basis of different things, and
Okay.
a lot of it has to do with Apple. So,
Interesting.
a phishing email can attack someone using an Apple. It's going to do the same thing.
Okay. What's the most common issue you run into? I was going to say threat, but I want to save that for our cybersecurity portion.
I think that goes into, well, then I'll choose something else then. The most issue.
If that's the answer,
Yeah.
cybersecurity. Okay. Expand on that.
It's phishing. Human error
Okay.
will always be.
So explain phishing for those who don't know.
So phishing is.
With a PH.
Yes, with the PH. There's also spear phishing.
Oh, that one I'm not familiar with.
So it's just a little bit deeper. It's more personalized usually.
Okay.
To you specifically. That's
Okay.
a spear phishing.
Gotcha.
So phishing is a spam email targeted towards a business trying to get them to click on a link. So hey, you've just won $100 in gift cards. You shouldn't click on that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a email going to a virus. That's phishing.
Okay.
Essentially.
Yeah, I've seen those where it comes from someone that I'm friends with. Hey, I need to get picking $150 over to so and so, but I can't. Do you mind doing it for me or something to that effect? And
Yeah.
I'd probably say no to that anyway, but
like
it seems super
Western
fishy.
Union transfer,
Yeah.
that kind of deal.
Yeah, or gift cards.
Yeah, gift cards is huge for some reason. You've won like an all expense paid trip to Aruba or something. Those are big. Yeah, that's.
So what are you guys offering to, what is Apollo, I keep saying you guys.
That's okay.
What's Apollo offering to help with that, help with phishing?
So we do cybersecurity awareness training. It's a monthly program where we send out fake phishing emails. And if you click on them, then you are then required to take a training, which will kind of just give you like a bunch of examples of, hey, these are things that you should look for. In the email itself, you'll see sometimes when you like click that drop down, it could be the person's name, but the email will be like all numbers and letters.
Right.
Or it's your email with .net instead of .com.
Right.
One letter missing, one letter added.
And that's effective. So how often are people and companies falling for this?
A lot.
All the time.
Now,
Okay.
it tends to be the older generation
Okay.
that clicks on them. And I think it's a lack of really kind of being aware that it happens. But it's just the more that they see the phishing email, the more they're aware of, like, hey, okay, it doesn't really look right.
Right.
Or,
When they know it's a possibility, they'll be more sensitive to it.
yes.
Okay. Have you found people getting around two-factor authentication? People meaning hackers.
It depends on the program.
Okay.
Yes. That has a lot to do with AI. AI is making that possible for hackers to really get around two-factor.
Is it always requiring, if it's text-based, SIM spoofing and the whole cell phone aspect of it, or are there other ways they're doing it?
There's other ways. They do it through email. You'll get a phishing email with, hey, this is your code for this, and that's the way they're getting past it, because then you go to the website and you enter that code, or it'll pull up a link to where you can enter that code. So I think that's how AI is using that more sophisticated way to get through two-factor. It's less likely. Two-factor is definitely a way more secure thing to have. And you
Is the Authenticator app better than text?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so much better. That's like when we do like best practices.
Right.
That's always in there.
That's basically the new version of those little key fobs that we used to have back in the day, right? Is that still relevant? Do people still use those?
I haven't seen anyone really use that. It's always the app now.
Okay.
I think any way people can not have too many things, they are now.
Talk to me about backup. I know you mentioned that backup is one of the things that you support. Are you finding clients aren't doing what they're supposed to do and leaving themselves vulnerable with backup?
I think it's a lack of time, because backups, they do, if they're not monitored, then you could have a backup that failed. You could have, the file is now too big, or you can have something like that. So I think it's that lack of time. That's where we come in and really help. So we'll do nightly backups for all on a file level, and then monthly backups for like image level backups, which is like taking that screenshot of their network.
Yeah. Oh, so that's great. So not only are you backing it up, but you're giving them off-site backup. God forbid they have a fire or a theft or something.
Yeah, so that's part of the disaster recovery plan.
Very cool. Obviously, my next question is dependent on how much data they have, but how quickly can a company get restored should there be an issue?
It definitely depends on the severity of the hack. I mean, if we come in and they've already been hacked, then it depends on the digging that we can do to really get those files back. How are they backed up? If we have them backed up, it could be an hour, it could be a day, but if it's through a disaster recovery plan, you have so much more of a chance to get everything back.
Right. I was in I guess it was a cyber threat seminar sometime last year. One of the things that freaked me out was they were talking about how certain threats, I'm totally paraphrasing here. If I were a threat, this is how I would explain myself. Certain threats are like patient in that they may come in through a desktop, infect the network in February, but not actually execute till, I'm picking a date, September. And because of that delay, your backups that you could restore from all have that same threat still in there.
Correct.
Freaked me out.
Yeah.
Do you guys run into that often?
With our system, no.
Okay.
But other people's system, yes. So we use an EDR, which is a endpoint detection and response. So
Okay. Yeah, explain that.
it's different than an antivirus. So it replaces your antivirus. So regular antivirus like Norton or McAfee, they are signature based, so they know threats that are on the market.
Okay.
And they read them when they're in your computer, so kind of when it's too late. The EDR reads them before or during the download and kills them immediately, so it picks up different things like that. But it's constantly learning, so it doesn't learn from what is just on your computer, it's learning from what is out there.
Is that AI based, the learning part? Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it adapts.
It's
So is it, again, getting nerdy, it's fair if you don't want to answer this, but now I'm inspired. Is the EDR monitoring the packets that are coming in it
monitors
all the
every-
time, and that's how it figures out, oh, this is about to be a complete download of a virus?
Yes, so it's a 24/7 monitoring. It's
Okay.
like, it's
So that's network level, that's not necessarily desktop level, so you're catching it as it comes into the building.
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, so it's on every single device. So it could be downloaded on every laptop you have in here, every server, and it does that. So if you go on a website that is malicious, it stops it immediately before you can even go.
That's awesome. So in addition to quarantining the thing, is it also sending you guys an alert?
Immediately.
Immediately.
I get an alert on my phone, email. Sometimes we get a phone call depending on the threat level.
Okay.
But then we get an entire spreadsheet of it was detected at like 2:05 and killed at 2:06, and here are all the steps that we went through. So it's really cool that you get like a timeline breakdown.
That's cool.
And we do present this to our customers in like a QBR, just so they see like, hey, you visited this website for clothing, and there was this, so maybe try to avoid that.
Right. Interesting. So Apollo offers this CAS, CAAS service. What exactly is that?
So CAS is Computers as a Service. So just like you would go to Verizon and lease your next cell phone, this is CAS for Apollo. You can now lease your computers and servers. The benefit of this is just like cell phones, computers are changing way faster than they used to. Every 3 years, you get a brand new machine. You have a monthly bill. There's no upfront costs. It does act as a tax write-off now because it turns it into an operational expense instead of a capital expense.
Okay.
So there's that benefit. And then you have new equipment every 3 years. You never have to worry about...
It's kind of like the copier business, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you're now leasing equipment, which when you think about it, how much, like I said, computers change,
Yeah.
it just makes so much more sense.
That's awesome, especially if your team expands and contracts, right? You can swap computers in accordingly. I'm assuming that also includes maintenance during the lease period, no?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, we handle all the updates. I mean, we do this anyway, but we handle any updates that are going through. If there's a problem with the machine, it's replaced out for free.
Okay.
It's really cool.
I know the answer is no. Do you guys offer Macs through this program?
We do offer
What?
Macs. I
You
know.
do? Okay.
Which is, I didn't think we were going to, and we had the capability, so we're doing it. I haven't had anyone do Macs yet, though.
Okay.
So I'm waiting.
Interesting. All right, cool. What did you do before Apollo?
So before Apollo, I was in retail for a really long time. My very first job, I was a Disney princess and a clown for children's parties.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was fun. I was a face painter. I did airbrush tattoos. I did like magic shows for kids, balloon animals, singing and dancing.
My first job was at a magic shop.
Really?
Yep.
I was terrible at all the magic shows. Thank God these kids were like 1 to 3. So when I'd mess up a trick, I'd just kind of like throw it behind me. I was dressed up as
And
a
it
clown.
disappeared.
Yep, exactly.
No, that's awesome. I've never heard anyone else talk about that.
It's very fun. It taught me so much, gave me a good, I guess, public speaking background without...
Sure. Well, you need a certain amount of confidence to stand in front of a group of kids.
You know, kids were easy. It was like the adults that like hovered over you and watched. That
Okay.
always made me nervous, but you're dressed up. So if you saw these people outside of
Yeah.
that, they don't really know who you are. That was the only reason it was okay.
It's funny. I remember when I was doing that, most of the time I was in the store selling magic.
That's cool.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then, if I remember correctly, maybe by like early September, the whole store changed just for Halloween stuff. Like to the point where we really stopped. Even if people ask about magic stuff, it's like, if you know what that is, I'll go get it for you from the back, but I can't demo it right now. We're selling costumes and masks and makeup.
Gotcha.
But the magic part is what was interesting to me. And for a little while, I would do magic shows and stuff, and I would get so nervous. I probably took myself way too seriously.
It's intimidating.
It's ridiculously intimidating. When I look back now, I can tell myself, what were those parents going to do?
Yeah.
Give a 15, 16-year-old a hard time about not being good at magic? I couldn't see it then because I was. Oh, really?
Depends on the people you were working for.
You had some bad parents?
No, not bad, but I guess judgmental. Maybe they thought it would go differently. But
Okay.
Can't please everybody.
They wanted David Copperfield.
Yes, but that wasn't happening.
Right.
Did you do a lot? You had to know every trick you were selling?
Not every trick. Well, there really wasn't a requirement, really. We had like the owner was a magician and the manager was a magician. So if anything, it's like I can call those guys over and they would do it. But I was interested enough that I wanted to know how to do this stuff, and then I was decent enough at it. I didn't need to know every trick. I just needed to learn how to explain what the trick did, even if I couldn't demo it.
Okay.
But if my memory serves me correctly, a lot of the people that came in were hardcore magicians. I didn't need to show them how it worked. They knew.
God.
They just wanted like the newer version or whatever. It really wasn't a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I guess if you're going into a magic shop, you have to know something.
Or at least be curious enough, and then you buy like the beginner kit.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
That always fascinated me. I wish I knew how to do more of them, but...
Well, I used to make the tricks like at home. I remember doing
that's really cool.
wood and hammer and glue, and go to the arts and crafts store to buy felt to make it all pretty and show ready, I guess.
That's awesome. No, we
Yeah.
handed you got a little magic bag, and it was they taught us like the basics of the trick, but then it was up to you really to give it your pizzazz, if
Right.
you will. It was a fun job. I still do it on the weekends. Not the dressing up part. I do the face painting.
Oh, okay. Today, that's still the thing. Good for you.
Yeah, it's a fun way to be involved, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice break from all the technical stuff of what your day job is.
Exactly.
Very cool. Have you ever mixed the two?
No.
No, you didn't go into a business opportunity and dazzle them with some magic.
No.
No, okay.
I haven't done that stuff in so long. I think the only one I know how to do is the change bag still.
Oh, with the thing underneath?
Thing.
Yeah. I made one of those too.
Really?
Yeah, I sewed the silk bag, and wow, you're bringing me back. And the crazy part is I would not have thrown those things away. So they exist, maybe in my parents' garage or attic. They exist somewhere.
I have them. I'm going to have to look through my basement now and see if I can find them.
I remember there was this one, it wasn't really a trick. It was a series of tricks inside this plush platform that had a drawer. And in the drawer included all the trick things. It also had a built-in magnet. I'm not going to tell you how the tricks work, but that was, you kind of did the illusions over this platform. And anyway,
that's cool.
I remember spending a ton of money, at the time. I saved up my money and I put it towards that. That must exist. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I need to find this stuff just for kicks.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. So Apollo networks aside, and face painting, and being a princess and a magician, what do you like to do for fun?
I'm now learning how to play the guitar again.
Oh, okay.
That's fun. I draw. I like to run and work out.
Nice.
But yeah, that's...
Do you do that, I don't want to say competitively like a pro, but do you do official races, 10Ks, 5Ks, marathons?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's something I have always wanted to do. It is like a stress release for me,
Yeah.
running. But yeah, I could do a solid 10 miles still.
Good for you. My brother this weekend finished a 50K.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife and I run. He runs. He's done the Spartan races. He did that for a couple of years.
That's no joke.
Yeah, so he and I both did the New York City Marathon, and then after that, like that wasn't long enough. So he started to get into trail running, and then he did his first ultra, I think a few months ago. But
Wow.
this one was the shore to shore. So he started at Sunken Meadow and ended at Heckscher on the South Shore,
Oh my gosh.
and weaved. Anyway, it was really
That'd be
cool.
a beautiful run, though.
It was a beautiful day. He was shot, but it was a beautiful
I can
day.
imagine.
Yeah.
My one of my best childhood friends is running in the New York Marathon this year.
That's fantastic. That is an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Way harder than I thought.
Oh my gosh, I could imagine.
I mean, a marathon is tough, but New York City in particular, I was shocked at the hills in Manhattan. I had no idea. I always assumed,
I would never think of that.
right, when you're in a taxi or you're just in your car or whatever, it seems flat-ish, or you're busy looking up at the skyscrapers or looking for pedestrians. I don't know. It wasn't until I was running on First Avenue and I'm looking up and the road just keeps going up all the way into the Bronx that I realized, woof, this is hilly. And then I talked to people afterwards, like, yeah, it's very hilly. I had no idea, and I guess ignorance is bliss.
Nobody gave you those pointers beforehand?
You know, they, in fairness to the New York Roadrunners that run the event, they have all that information. I guess I just didn't really focus on that.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm talking about this, but that's fantastic. Before we wrap up, how can folks get a hold of you?
So our website, the contact form is always great. I am on LinkedIn. That's
Okay.
another great way. My little book with me is in the, I guess, bio.
Okay.
If you like contact information. But yeah, our website is the best way to go.
And what's the URL?
ApolloNetworks.com.
Okay. And is there an office number or a direct number to you that you want to share?
Sure, the office number is 516-584-4000. My extension is 1111. For people that think that's lucky, it might be.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on. This is
Thank
wonderful.
you so much for having me. It was great.